Do you know what is bioplastics? How can they save this environment? From Isapia's end, in 2023, from 275 of districts and cities throughout Indonesia, the amount of waste will reach more than 30 million tons. This is a lot, and we have to be able to deal with this immediately. Or they can be more bigger in the future and become a threat for everyone. Actually, this problem came from the human population, which is increasing all the time, and those who continue to use plastics and ignore its impacts don't care about the disaster it causes. So, how can this at least be reduced? The bioplastic.
Plastics are everywhere. They're in landfills, they're in the ocean, they're floating around.
But corn can change all that. Plastic made from corn is different. It's biodegradable, carbon neutral, renewable, and even edible.
You're growing molecules out there, and we can arrange those molecules to be food or the plastic bag that the food comes in.
Bioplastic is basically plastic that makes from biomass like starch, cellulose, chitosan, fats, oil, food waste, or anything. How can this work? All plastic is degradable, even traditional plastic, but just because it can be broken down into tiny fragments or powder does not mean the materials will ever return to nature. Some additives to traditional plastics make them degrade more quickly. Like photodegradable plastic breaks down more readily in sunlight, and oxo-degradable plastic disintegrates more quickly when exposed to heat and light. Biodegradable plastic can be broken down completely into water, carbon dioxide, and composed by microorganisms under the right conditions. Biodegradable implies that the decomposition happens in weeks to months. Bioplastic that don't biodegrade that quickly are called durable, and some bioplastics made from biomass that cannot easily be broken down by microorganisms are considered non-biodegradable. Let's make this product. First, we need to extract the starch and cellulose. Cellulose is obtained from banana pseudostem. That starch can be found abundantly in nature.
But how do you turn a kernel of corn into a clear sheet of plastic wrap? You've got to get down to the starch.
What we want to do in wet corn milling is take these kernels apart into their components. Starch, protein, fiber.
Steeping kernels in sulfur dioxide and water at more than 100 degrees loosens bonds within the kernel. After 2 days, the kernels are ready to be ground.
If we do it just right, the germ will pop out and will start to float. And it floats because it has vegetable oil in it.
Next, the mixture is centrifuged to pull the corn oil away from the starch. What's left is almost pure starch. The long chains of carbon molecules in the cornstarch are remarkably similar to the chains of carbon in oil-based plastics.
The extracted starch is then mixed with all the required ingredients using a water solvent. This method is known as the solving casting method. The solution is stirred and heated to a hot temperature. Then we printed the bioplastic and dried at room temperature. The addition of chitosan resulting bioplastic can provide maximum strength and be more resistant to water. The result was that bioplastic with chitosan had a tensile strength value that was greater than bioplastic without chitosan. The bioplastic has best hydrophobicity properties with low water absorption percentage.
The dried starch powder is a bundle of polymers. We add it to water to loosen up those bundles. Some of the starch polymer has branches on it, which makes it difficult to form a good plastic. We add vinegar to cut off those branches and make a linear polymer called amylose. If we just made plastic from this linear polymer amylose, we would get a very rigid plastic. We add glycerin to make the plastic more flexible.
Even though chitosan increases the strength of bioplastics, it reduces the level of degradation because it is not soluble in water. Decreasing humidity can also cause the growth of decomposing bacteria to be inhibited so that degradation value becomes small. Starch and cellulose bioplastics with the addition of chitosan have the high hydrophobicity and maximum mechanical strength because of the characteristic of chitosan, which is able to prevent water from entering the film.